Hello everybody, welcome back to my YouTube. Today we're doing our first ever VR video. And it is on a game that I love dearly named OrbusVr Reborn. This is a MMORPG, a quest-giving, monster-slaying game with multiple different classes to play from. And today I'm going to be teaching you how to play Paladin. It is one of the two tank classes. You are equipped with a hammer, 3 books, a shield, and lightning. You smack your enemies down with your hammer, dealing damage and holding the boss on you while the rest of your team shoots it and does damage. So, first of all, your job as a paladin is for the boss to smack you. That is why you have the best armor in the game. Plate armor. It gives the best damage reduction, makes you take a lot less damage, and also it just looks very, very cool. Your main job is to hold aggro of the boss. Make sure that he doesn't run and attack all your lovely teammates that are supporting you while you fight. The average setup for a dungeon would be 1 tank, 1 support, and 3 DPS. Sometimes, depending on your team's skill level, you can vary. And for raids, you can vary from 1 to 2 tanks, depending on the boss, 2 supports, and then the rest are DPS. So first, let's get into how to fight. So you have these 5 pips right here, and you raise your hammer to the sky, charging down lightning, to gain those pips. Each time you put your hammer up, it gives you 2. Once you get to 5, you can no longer have any. And then, with those pips, you can smack the boss to do damage. And each one of those pips, when you smack, it will give you more aggro. So, hit, and then this right here will show you when you can do it again. So once that is full, you can put your hammer to the sky again and charge to get more pips. Managing your pips is also a very big part of this game, because as a paladin, you have a 50% damage reduction. So all incoming damage, doesn't matter if he does 1,000 damage, 100 damage, will be reduced by 50%. So 1,000 will turn into 500, 100 will turn into 50. That is for all the time. You never lose that except when you have 5 pips. So you have to make sure that you only have 4 pips. And if you have 5, you have to smack it. Make sure that you do not ever have 5 pips in a boss fight. Now, if you want to start off a battle with 5 pips, then that is perfectly acceptable. But make sure to dump them as fast as possible. Also, let's address these, your 3 books. Each one of these has a different purpose. The one on the right is an empower. It will empower one of the other 2 books, or your next hit. So regular hit, I do 10,000 damage on average. If I do this, and I smack, I do 21,000. So it kind of doubles it. The other one is a heal. You pull this, and it will heal you. So if I was at half health, it would heal me and give me a little bit of a damage buff for a couple seconds. This is your aggro book. This one is not as you might think it is. Some people think that it's like a taunt, so the boss will just come and fight you after you pull it. It's not exactly like that. How I explain it is, think of it as a FBI most wanted board. So you as the tank, you are the most wanted. And say that your rude mage who's standing kind of over here shooting the boss is second. But he does something really, really bad, and he gets in front of you, so now he's the most wanted. That makes the boss run after him. But you don't want that, because then he's going to die, because he only has cloth gear, and he's going to die a lot faster than you. So what you want to do is you want to pull this. What this does is it makes that FBI most wanted board completely clear. Nobody's most wanted. And now you have to hit the boss. So hitting the boss is like you doing something really bad, like robbing a bank, for example. And now you are the most wanted again. But if he hits the boss before you can hit him, then he's the most wanted again. Hopefully that made sense. And empowering it will basically just make it a lot easier for you to hold aggro. A lot of people say that it doesn't do anything, but it very much does. So that is your books. Another big thing about Paladin is the shield. Right here on your side, on your hammer, you can see a little axe on the shield. If you put your right hand or your left hand, or your offhand, whatever hand you use, up, you'll see the shield. It's up for about 1.5 seconds. And when that is up, you have a 99.9% of all damage is blocked. So you are basically immortal. That's what you use for tank busters. And if you don't know what a tank buster is, in this game specifically, the bosses will do a special move. And most bosses in this game will sideswipe you and make a hissing sound. That's what a tank buster is. It's basically just to break down and murder whoever is fighting it and whoever has aggro in one shot. And your way to block that is to throw your shield up. So you want to make sure that you save that for tank busters. Now, not all bosses have tank busters. There's a select few that do not. The name of few: the Lynch King, the Dungeon Troll, boss 2 of the normal mode Citadel. I think most of the bosses in Guild City do not have it either. That is just to name a few. There's a lot more that do not have them, but I cannot name them off the top of my head. And a little thing about tank busters is the damage doesn't register until the animation is done. So if he was to have a tank buster and he was to sideswipe me with his hand like this, the damage wouldn't register to me until he puts his hand back down to his side. So usually what I do is I wait until about half of the way until that animation is done, and then I throw my shield up real quick. I've never died. Well, I've definitely died. Let's talk about talents. So, your talents are a very big part of your entire kit. The talents that are the best for you is Blessing of Attack, Librum of Protection, Defense, Hammer of Forgiveness, and Plea of Divinity. Now, these two are kind of important because you have a lot of flexibility with them. Now, these 3 are the best for you because they give you the most buffs, help you stay tanky. But these 2, this one does not matter. This, you can either heal an ally or hurt an enemy, but you're never going to use it in battle, so it's just kind of something fun to play around with. And then Plea of Protection or Plea of Divinity. Plea of Protection, you can see here, it charges up every 30 seconds, and you can place your hand to your left like this, with your hand facing outwards, and you'll get a little bit of damage resistance. Now, people get that mixed up with damage reduction. Damage reduction, it halves all incoming damage, like the 50% that you get. Normally, if you would take 10,000 damage, you would take 5,000. But with damage resistance, you still take all that damage, but it doesn't apply as much to you, if that makes sense. So instead of not taking the damage, you still take the damage, but it doesn't hurt as much. So you can either do this, and Plea of Divinity is, you do this, you get a little orb in your hand, you can give that to an ally, and if they die while they have it on, they get resurrected with 20% health, or you can give it to somebody who's already dead to resurrect them, like a musketeer or a mage. That is your pally res. The other big thing is, as a paladin, stun locking. You can throw your hammer. You can also teleport to your hammer when you throw it. If you throw it and then click the trigger, you can teleport to your hammer. But you can stun lock. So each time that you throw your hammer and you hit an enemy with that hammer, it stuns them. So if you see the health bar, there's a little stun icon. A little whirly pool. That means he cannot move, he cannot hit you, he cannot do a tank buster, he cannot do anything while he is stunned. But if you stun him while he's already in the middle of an animation, he's still going to do that animation. So don't try and stop a tank buster with a stun. It does not work. Trust me, I've tried. I failed a lot of raids because of that. So stun locking, it's not good if you are playing with somebody who's going to pull aggro off of you. Because while he is stunned, you do not get hit. And when you get hit as a paladin, you will gain a pip. depends on the strength of the enemy and the strength of you. So if you are a level 30 Paladin with full +6 gear like I do, you're not going to gain a pip by hitting the weakest enemy in the game. But if you get hit by a tank buster and you throw your shield up, you're going to get an instant 5 pips. So you got to dump them real quick. I forgot what I was saying. I am so sorry. I've completely lost my train of thought for a second. That's right. Sorry. So you just kind of gotta manage a lot of stuff when you're playing Paladin. Another big part is just knowing when to stun lock. Stun locking is very, very good, but it can also be very, very detrimental to your team. Because, like I said earlier, you are not able to gain aggro when you're stun locking, because he does not hit you. And when he hits you, you will gain a pip. That is also a big part, because you'll see some very high level tanks, they'll take off some of their armor. It's like I would take off my shoulders and my headpiece if I was fighting with lower level people, because they might pull off of me if I'm not getting enough pips. So he would say that if he would only give me 1 pip while I have all my armor on, if I take off something he might give me 2, maybe 3. Might hurt a little bit more, but if I manage my books the right way, then I can stay alive. That is basically it for Paladin. There's some things here and there that you will get better at once you start playing it more, once you do raids, and yeah, that's mostly what it is. Thank you all for watching, and goodbye.